Welcome and/or welcome back to my channel. I'm Hannah Blackwell, and today I'm going to be sharing with you a big book haul and an unboxing. It's been a little bit since I've done a book haul, probably I think Christmas time frame. It's now April. I actually don't have that many books here. Probably at least maybe like 25 or 30 books to haul here, and I guess we'll find out at the end how many books it was. I've been trying not to buy too many books. I've been pretty good about it. Until recently, there was a bit of shopping done. But that's okay. And then some of these books are actually from like January. So there was at least there's probably 2 months there that I really didn't do much shopping. Let's go ahead and start with the unboxing. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I'd love to have you do so. Don't forget to comment down below and let me know if there's any of these books that you think I would really like, that I should really prioritize. And don't forget to click the like button as well. It really helps my channel grow. So I'm going to go ahead and get into this unboxing. This is just some books I got on Amazon. I am also trying to, when I buy books, get books I've already read that I actually just want to add to my collection. I'm redoing my shelves around. So the way I did have it was I had my black and like pine bookshelves. Those were all my TBR shelves. And then these were all books that I had read plus my historical romance collection. I have moved all that around. Now that I'm doing this haul, that means I'm finally going to be able to get these on the shelf, and then I might actually be able to do a library tour. My library is mostly done except for like one side of the room, so it will only be a tour of like the actual bookshelves really in my library, but I'm excited to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and get this unboxing. Here we go. Done. I think I got 5 books in here. Yeah. Okay. So the first 5 are actually 2 books that I've read and 1 book I haven't read yet in a series. So I mentioned this in my last vlog. I'll have it linked up here, where I did some crafts for my bookshelves, that I was reading the Wayward Children series, and I said that I bought some of the books in the series. So I got the first book in the series, which is Every Heart a Doorway by Sean McGuire. And then I got the 3rd book in the series. So I already owned the 2nd book. I think I got it like used at Second and Charles. So that's why I owned like the random 2nd book. So this is the 3rd one, Beneath the Sugar Sky. I gave both of Beneath the Sugar Sky, I think, have I given every book in the series 5 stars so far? I think so. And then In an Absent Dream is book 4. I have not read this one yet, so I'm excited about this. If you haven't read this series yet, this is basically about children that go through doorways to different realms, and they come back on accident or they're forced back, whatever it may be, and they are having trouble basically reacclimating to the real world. So a lot of these children end up going to this school for wayward children. The headmistress is also a wayward child. Kind of all are wanting to get their way back to their doors. They want to find their lands again because that's really where they feel like home. These are really, really beautifully written. They are magical. They're just really fun. They're short books. They're novellas. I highly, highly, highly recommend. They have a cozy aspect, but there's darker sides to them too. Just really good. They're just really, really good. Now I have the first 4 books in the series on my bookshelves. I think there's 7 or 8 books out so far, maybe. I could be wrong. Then I got another book that I have already read because I actually read the my arc. I know. I read an arc. I never read my arcs. I'm so bad about it. Like, if you're an author, don't send me books because listen, I always warn, like I say, like, hey, like, I probably won't read this. But anyway, this one is the 2nd book in a series. This is Emily Wilde's Map of the Otherlands, and this is one of my favorite series of all time. The 1st book in the series was my favorite book that I read last year, and this is the 2nd book. I like this. I still give it 5 stars, but looking back, it's like a 4.5 star. You know what I'm saying? I didn't like it as much as the 1st book, but I still really loved it. I loved it. And I love Emily. I love Wendell. I love the history and the lore and all the found family and everything. I love this series. I can't wait for the 3rd one. I also love that there are these beautiful naked hardbacks. They're just high quality and beautiful and lovely, and I love them. Highly recommend. This is like a fantasy version of historical our world. And Emily Wilde is a professor of Fae studies, basically. I think it's called Druidology. She, in the first book, is traveling to, I believe it might be Norway, and she is studying this certain species of the Fae. Wendell, her coworker, ends up showing up, and they have a strained relationship, but it's really, like, cute at the same time. And it's just fun. It's a lot of fun. Emily's a trip. She is not a people person. She's all about her studies, and Wendell is the complete opposite. These are really cool. Highly, highly recommend. I also really like the footnotes, but they're done well. Like, I feel like a lot of books have footnotes and they're just not done well, but these footnotes are actually done really well. I loved them. Like, if you're gonna do a footnote, do it well. You know what I'm saying? That's all I ask. And finally, another book that I have read, and that's Cursed Cocktails by S.L. Rowland. This is like Legends and Lattes, like very similar vibes, but I liked it even better, to be honest. Our main character in this, he is like a wizard, and he is not doing well after years and years of fighting this war, and so he decides to go down south where he thinks he's going to be able to heal better, and he has this book of recipes from his deceased father that has all of these cocktail recipes from around the world, and he wants to try them out. He ends up meeting a bartender, and they start a bar together, and it's like a romance and really sweet, cozy fantasy. I highly, highly, highly recommend. So here's the one historical romance that I have. It is Bertus Small, Enchantress Mine, and I got this purely because of the cover. It's lovely. Absolutely stunning. And it's like a wraparound, and it's got some cool stuff on the back too. I just really liked the cover, so I got it. I might read it, I might not. A lot of my historical romance collection is just, I like collecting the books. I just love the covers. And I do like to read historical romance occasionally too. It's not something I read like a lot of. I'd like to read more of it, but I'd like to read more of a lot of things. So I really like having my historical romance collection. A lot of my collecting them is for the art of it. But yeah, I had to have that when I saw that. Let's talk about some weird books that I've gotten, because I have been on a weird book kick recently. This book is called In the Miso Soup by Ryu Murakami. And this is supposed to be like a horror that really goes there. Like, it's supposed to be very, very extreme. It's about this guy who gets like a tour. He's getting a tour of the sleazy Japanese nightlife by this guy, Kenji. Then he realizes Kenji might be a serial killer. Things really get very apparently graphic and violent, so I don't know if this is extreme horror. Anyway, this seems really, really extreme and weird, and I don't know. I just wanted to try it out. Okay, I got a couple of other weird books here. One is Lapvona by Otessa Moshfegh. I think this is going to be weird and gothic, like a gothic historical, possibly witchy book. It's set in this like really religious village. Our main character's mother died in childbirth, and he has got this like strong bond with this blind village wife, Ina. And Ina lives like in the woods on the outskirts of the village. It's supposed to be a godless place, so it makes me think like, is it witchy? And it sounds like there's some like very extreme religious characters here. This might have some themes that I really enjoy, which is like witchy, religious extremism, and the battle between the two, and the battle between like labeling people witches or places godless or heathenist, and just kind of like the origins of using those terms and using the term witch and things like that as like ways to control and harm basically the women, especially, who are threats basically. I'm very interested. I don't know if that's what this is about, but it gives me those vibes. Like, this is giving me Slewfoot vibes from the synopsis, but I don't know if it's going to be like Slewfoot, so I don't know. Like, don't quote me on that, but I'm getting those vibes from the cover and from the synopsis. And I think I gave Slewfoot like a high 4-star. The Glutton is my next one. This is by A.K. Blakemore. This cover's weird. And the synopsis is also weird. So this is set in 1798 France. And anything set in France I want to read. If you didn't already know, I studied abroad in France. French was my second major in college. And so this is about, there's these nuns that work in Versailles at the Versailles hospital. There's this man who is rumored to have eaten a golden fork that is killing him from the inside. He's said to have done monstrous things in his attempts to sate an insatiable appetite. An appetite that tortures him still. Yeah, this sounds weird. I don't know. I'm hoping it's weird. And I guess we'll just have to find out. But it definitely like struck me. I saw it at the store and I was like, what is this? And I got it. So I have no idea like how that's gonna go. More horror, like spring book haul. Let's talk about the horror that I got. I don't know. Apparently I'm on a horror kick. It happens a lot. I feel like in the beginning of the year for me, I start really liking a lot of horror, but it's like kind of extended. Like I'm still in a horror mood. So, but especially like weird horror. Like right now I'm reading Bunny and I'm really enjoying it. It's weird. This one is Our Share of Night by Mariana Enriquez. And I think this is a literary horror about a father and a son on the run, and it somehow involves a cult. That's all I know about it. I think it won an award or was nominated for awards, or like a lot of people are talking about it. It's a little bit long, a lot long. It's almost 600 pages. So I'm a little bit intimidated by this one. There's a lot of books that I really want to read that are on my TBR that just really intimidate me. Let me know if you guys want me to do a video on books that intimidate me. Because this is one of them, but I still bought it. I bought it as a paperback. I've not seen it as a paperback before, but it must have just gotten released. So I got it as a paperback at Barnes & Noble because I was like, well, if it's a paperback, it's immediately less intimidating. I don't know why. Then I got an accident. I got a book that I meant to get it, but I didn't understand. So I got Daphne by Josh Malerman. I did not know this was the sequel to Bird Box. You wouldn't know that really based on the synopsis. So I don't understand. Like nothing on here says it's a sequel to Bird Box, but it says Bird Box 2 on Goodreads. Let me know if you know. Do I have to read Bird Box before I read Daphne? Oh, no, I'm thinking of Mallory. Guys, oh my god. No, Mallory. I think Mallory's the sequel. Let me know. Okay, Mallory's the sequel, right? I can read Daphne, right? Because I think that this is... Let me double check. I'm confusing myself. Okay, I can read this. Okay, so this is Daphne. Oh, that's exciting. I was like worried. I was like, oh god, I got that. And I was like a waste. I think this is about a girl who's going to be going to college. Like it's her last summer before college. Kit's teammates tell a ghost story about Daphne, a girl who went to school many years ago and died under mysterious circumstances. Some say she was murdered. Some say she died by her own hand. Her teammates start vanishing one by one, and Kit starts suspecting it might involve Daphne. I think it's going to be a little bit more complicated than that because I don't think it's just like a ghost story, or maybe it is. I don't know. I think Josh Malerman usually gets kind of weird from what I know. I'm hoping it's a little bit more than just that, but I guess we'll find out. Maybe I'll just go into it expecting a ghost story and be like happily surprised if it's more than just that, but we'll have to wait and see. I also got Lone Women by Victor Laval. I really like this paperback cover. I like this a lot more than the hardcover. I saw this at Barnes & Noble and had to pick it up, especially nowadays with books getting so expensive. I already kind of preferred paperbacks, honestly, because of their readability, but I just don't like mass markets that much, even though I do collect some. But the thing is, like, the words are so small in mass market that like my aging eyes can't handle. And so anyway, so this is about like these homesteaders and these female homesteaders, and there's this woman and she goes to this state. She's from California and she's going to, I don't know, some other state. I don't know what state. She's going somewhere where apparently she's supposed to be able to homestead like as a single woman. And she's got this suitcase, and it's like, what's in the box kind of scenario. Like, what's in the suitcase? And I think that's like the big mystery or something. I'm hoping it's more than that. I'm hoping it's more than that, but I guess we'll see. I've heard mixed things about this, but people that have similar taste to me really like this book. So I think I'll like it. Again, I do believe this is a like literary horror. And I want to try more literary horror because the only one I've tried I DNF'd, but I think it was not just, I don't think it was because it was literary horror. Like I think maybe I have read other literary horrors. We'll see. But I want to read ones that I know for sure are literary horror. Yeah, I did try a book by Stephen Graham Jones and I did not enjoy it. Yeah, it was The Only Good Indians. But I still want to try more from him and I want to see if, I think I like literary horror because, like, isn't Bunny a literary horror? Like, I'm liking that. So, I don't know. Anyway, we'll find out. This one looked good. I'm expanding my horror collection. This was one of those, like, buy one, get one 50% off. So that's why I have, like, the last 4 books that I got were all, like, buy one, get one 50% off. I got 4 of them. So, really cool cover. Let's take a break from creepy stuff and get cozy. So I have here a pile of cozies. The first one is A Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking. I actually got this as a congratulations for getting 2,000 subscribers from my friend Kristen. Thank you so much, Kristen. So this is a T. Kingfisher book that I really want to read. I really enjoy T. Kingfisher. I have more books by her I want to read and just kind of trying to catch up on her backlist while also reading the books that are coming out still, because she puts a lot of books out. Generally, they're kind of short, but they're all like so well written. Like, it's pretty impressive. Anyway, this is supposed to be kind of almost like a YA or middle grade feel about this baker, and she's a wizard, and she likes to make gingerbread men dance. I don't know. It just sounds really cute. It's supposed to be super, super cozy, and I definitely want to read it soon. And then I got The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. I want to try some more contemporary cozies, and this one looks really good. I guess it's about this like retirement village. Yeah, it's a retirement village. I think they start solving murders. But yeah, all I hear is like really good things about this series, especially the book that came out more recently. I also have Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murders. There is like a sticker that I need to get off of here. I think that like I bought it and this was here, but because I bought it used. But this one is supposed to be really cozy. It's by Jess CQ Sutanto, who did Dial A for Aunties. And I've heard nothing but good things about this one too. So many people read this last year and had it on their favorites of the year list. And yet another contemporary cozy. I want to try more of them. It's going to be a fun time. From what I know, Vera Wong has an attitude. She has her strong opinions on the way people should live their lives. Basically, she's just like a super nosy grandma. She owns a tea shop and a murder happens and she starts like suspecting all of her customers and sounds really cute. Then I also have books 3 and 4 in Becky Chambers' Wayfarer series. I don't know which one's which, but these ones. Record of a Spaceborne Few and Galaxy and the Ground Within. So I soft DNF the first book in the series. I was enjoying it. It just wasn't the time. And that was A Long Way to a Small and Angry Planet. So these are very much like cozy slice of life space sci-fis by Becky Chambers. And I loved A Psalm for the Wild Built. I need to read the second book in that series too. And I really want to get into the series. But I know I'll like it and I know I'll probably want to continue on that series. And I saw those at the local used bookstore and I picked them up. That's why I still need to get book 2, but I saw those and I went ahead and got them. Another one I got for under $5 at the used bookstore, and it's in really a wonderful condition, is Shady Hollow, which is by Jino Black. I've wanted to read this for a while, but I didn't want to buy it new because it's really expensive for such a teeny book. The only time I feel like recently I'll get anything at Barnes & Noble is if it's like buy one, get one 50% off. But this is kind of like giving Peter Rabbit Wind in the Willows kind of vibes. It's a cozy mystery in this place called Shady Hollow. It looks like our main character is reporter Vera Vixen. I think she's a fox. And she's investigating a murder. Yeah. This toad turns up dead and we're investigating murder. So it's like little cute forest animals in a little cute forest village, and it's a cozy mystery. I think this is going to be really cute. Probably any time of the year, to be honest. Sounds good. Okay, I had to eat and then put my hair up because it's just mom life. I also have some thrillers here. So the first one is Shiver by Allie Reynolds. This is about like four friends that are all snowboarders and they go to this mountain, and I think they get stranded on the top of the mountain. I think there's a snowstorm, so it's isolated, it's cold, it's snowy. I'm hoping this is good. I've heard mixed things about it. I've heard there is a good amount of snowboarding content, so I don't know, we'll see. But I really like cold, wintry thrillers, and so I thought that'd be fun. I also have The Death of Mrs Westway by Ruth Ware. I think this one is very similar in vibes to The Turn of the Key, which is the highest rated Ruth Ware book, like the one for me, like the one I've rated the highest. So I'm hoping this is going to be another hit for me. That book was like a really good 4-star thriller. I really enjoyed it. It had the gothic vibes. It had a good twist. It was a good time. So I'm hoping for the same thing from this. I recently had a major miss with Ruth Ware. I really did not like The Woman in Cabin 10. But I think that's actually a popular opinion. Like, I think that's actually one of her least enjoyed books. So, and I think a lot of people really like this one. So I'm hoping that's good. And then I have another book, Lisa Jewell's The Family Upstairs. I have read one book by Lisa Jewell, and I really enjoyed it. It was another super solid 4-star thriller, domestic thriller. And I think this is another domestic thriller with a gorgeous cover. Really pretty. It's actually like embossed too. So really cool. I've heard that this one, I know this has a sequel. I can't say what I was about to say because I think it might be a spoiler. So I may have been like a little bit spoiled for this. I hope not. But I think I know a trope that the twist might involve. But that's okay. That's okay. So yeah, I own one other Lisa Jewell book that I want to try too. The one that I read that I really enjoyed was And Then She Was Gone. No. I don't remember. I don't remember the one that I read and really enjoyed, but it wasn't The Night She Disappeared. I think it was And Then She Was Gone, but I could be wrong. I think I own The Night She Disappeared. Invisible Girl? Maybe it was Invisible Girl? I don't know. I feel like the names, The Night She Disappeared, Then She Was Gone, Invisible Girl, those all sound really like the same thing. One of those books was the one that I read. Okay, so let's talk about some fantasy books, or no, I'll save fantasy for last. I'm going to talk about the sci-fi books I have next. I think these are the only sci-fi. So the first one I have is The World Gives Way by Marissa Levian. I got this one because Riley Marie read this and really enjoyed it, and it sounds like a book I might really like. This is like post-apocalyptic, and I believe they're all living on this like giant spaceship, basically, that kind of like looks like Earth. I could be wrong. I don't know. I know she really liked it, and I remember like when she was talking about it thinking like, oh, that book sounds like a book that's exactly for me. So I guess we'll find out. And then I got a book by Neal Stephenson. So I think I've tried a Neal Stephenson before, and it was like way out of my comprehension. He writes like hard sci-fi, so I don't know how this is gonna go for me. But this, wait, no. Am I getting Neal Stephenson confused with, no, I'm getting him confused with Peter Hamilton. Sorry. Anyway, this says, a catastrophic event renders the Earth a ticking time bomb. In a feverish race against the inevitable, nations around the globe band together to devise an ambitious plan to ensure the survival of humanity. So it looks like they're going to go to outer space, basically. And then it says 5,000 years later, their progeny, 7 district races, now 3 billion strong, embark on yet another audacious journey into the unknown to an alien world utterly transformed by cataclysm and time. Earth. So it's like thousands of years later, they're returning to Earth, and they are going to look to see like how it was changed. I'm curious. I'm very curious about this one. I believe it's a standalone. Let me know if you know. Oh, I didn't say what it's called. Sorry, it's called Seven Eaves. Seven Eves. I don't know how to say that. Next I have Revenger by Alistair Reynolds. And I have Terminal World by Alistair Reynolds. I don't know anything about these. So that's Terminal Worlds. And this is Revenger. I think this is the first in a series. And I think these are both like adventure, space opera kind of sci-fis. And this one might be a standalone. I don't know anything about them and I don't feel like reading the synopsis, but I got them to expand my sci-fi collection because I really have been liking sci-fi a lot. So, okay, so I've got a pile here that's all falling apart. So the first books in my fantasy that I got were Kushel's Chosen and Kushel's Avatar. These two are books 2 and 3 in the Kushel Dart series. I own the first book and I think I'm going to really like it. I think it's supposed to be like a very like erotic political fantasy. So there might be some romance, but I think there's just like a lot of like erotic scenarios. Like for example, like our main character I believe is some kind of courtesan and she can feel, every time she feels pleasure, she feels pain, and every time she feels pain, she feels pleasure. It's like a curse. She's got this thing called Kushel's Dart. It's like a, almost like a birthmark, I believe, and it's kind of cursed her to always feel pain when she feels pleasure and vice versa. So, but she is basically also kind of used as a spy. So it's political fantasy as well. So I'm very intrigued by this series and I've heard really good things. I do think it's going to be one I'll really like. Yes, these are mass market paperbacks. I will probably listen to the audiobooks if I can find them and then read along some because I'm not a huge fan of mass market. I also got this other mass market. Okay, this is by Peter Hamilton, Pandoras Star. So I think this is like hard space opera sci-fi. And I don't know anything about this one as well. Let me know if you've read it and what you think. Peter Hamilton really intimidates me. That's sci-fi, sorry. And then I got Winter of Ice and Iron. I think this is polar fantasy romance. There was really much fantasy romance coming out, traditionally published. So this one is, oh, it's got a map. I've heard mixed things. I haven't heard many things. And of the things I've heard of is mixed. But I'm always seeing this at my library. And so when I saw it for less than $5 at my local used bookstore, I picked it up. I mean, it's fantasy romance. It's polar. I mean, it's kind of like a recipe for something I will like. And it's got a really pretty cover. So I guess we'll find out. And then I got Neil Gaiman, American Gods. I have read 2 books by Neil Gaiman, and they are 2 of my favorite books of all time. So I need to read more books by Neil Gaiman. I've heard mixed things about this one. I heard it's weird, but I like weird books, so I don't know. I'm not going to read the synopsis because I don't want to know. And then I got Tyler Whitesides, The Thousand Deaths of Arbor Ben. I remember when this was first coming out, and I remember it was on the Spiffball for its cover, and I really like its cover. I could be wrong, but that's what I remember it from, I think. I really like this cover a lot. It's beautiful. And that's why I bought it. It looks magnificent and epic and like a huge big fantasy world of historic proportions, maybe kind of like, I think, Game of Thrones or something. Like, and it just looks really good. Yeah, it looked really good. Very interested. And then I did a thing. I did a thing that I don't think any of you will understand. I don't understand it myself. I don't know why I did this thing, but I did this thing. And that was, I bought the big paperback of Gardens of the Moon so that I can reread it. What is wrong with me? Did I like Gardens of the Moon the first time I read it? No. No, I did not. Am I going to reread it again one day? Yes. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I got this. Malazan is one of the most famous epic, like darker fantasies of our time. And it's very complicated and confusing, and I would say it is world building focused. The character development's weird. The plot is weird. The world building also weird, actually. So there you have it. Those are all the books that I have hauled now. I can put these on my bookshelves now that I'm reorganizing them. Hopefully I'll be able to come up with a bookshelf tour for you guys soon, and you guys will be able to enjoy that. If you like this video, don't forget to click the like button and let me know which one of these books I should prioritize. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Until next time, fellow readers, keep reading and living your best life.
Tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away.